Hey guys, I'm Jessie and today I am doing another book tag. This is the Give a Book tag and it was originally created by Catherine Zofrea, another like smaller channel, and I will link the original down below. Her channel seems really great. I actually watched a few of the videos while I was getting this, and yeah, she has a great channel, so go check her out. Oh, it's a fun way to like shout out like smaller YouTubers that have like created, you know, fun tags and make sure that they get the credit for it. Which, not that I'm like a big channel, but like I just like shouting out other creators. So this is a fun way to do it, and I really liked the questions in this tag. So let's jump on in. The first one is give a book to make someone smile. And I feel like middle grade will always just be wholesome and sweet and make somebody smile. So I'm gonna pick Even and Odd by Sarah Beth Durst for this one. This is a really cute middle grade fantasy that follows two sisters and a talking unicorn that go on a quest to restore magic to their world. And I absolutely love it. It is adorable and sweet and wholesome. And I just really think you can't read about, you know, talking unicorns that poop cupcakes without smiling. The next one is Give a Book You Don't Talk About a Lot. And, you know, I am mostly a sci-fi fantasy channel, but I really love Heretics Anonymous, and I never talk about it. It really doesn't like fit in with all the other books I read, but I love this so much. We're following like this group of teens at a Catholic high school, and I just relate to it so much because when I was younger, 1st grade through 7th grade, I went to a very strict evangelical private school, and a lot of these experiences really resonated with me, and I loved it so much. The next one is Give a Book You Can't Stop Talking About. And if you've been around here for more than like a minute, you'll know that that is Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. Really anything by Sarah Beth Durst. I mean, the first book I talked about in this video was Sarah Beth Durst middle grade, so there's that. But I really love the Queen of Blood series. I have a full review, spoiler free, for the whole series if you want to check it out. But basically we are following this girl named Delina, and she is in this like magical school, and you know, she's not very good. She tries real hard, but she's definitely like not good at it, right? And she just is kind of working hard and getting by, right? She doesn't have big aspirations to be a hero or anything like that. She's just doing her part. Because all women in this world that show a propensity for magic, which in this world, their magic is being able to control the murderous earth spirits that want to kill everybody. And basically the magic users are all women, and they all have to control them and keep the murderous rages at bay. And, you know, they're not the fun tree spirits and ice spirits and like, yay, they're like gonna murder you. Really cool. The forest tries to kill you in this book. And we follow her, and she makes like a lot of like good female friendships. And she's literally what I would consider the opposite of like a Mary Sue, because she's not good at everything. She's kind of the opposite of that. And I just love this series so much, the whole series. So I can't stop talking about it. I think I talk about it in so many videos. Next is Give a Book that people are either going to really love or really hate. And I had to think about that because a lot of the books I read are pretty, you're either going to love them or hate them. But I came up with The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern because this book is very, oops, it's upside down too. You're either going to love this book or hate this book. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's very whimsical and lyrical and purple prose, and it's a story within a story, and there's poetry, and it's just this whole like magical, whimsical world. And a lot of it doesn't make sense, and it's not supposed to make sense. It's just a story within a story. It's a story about stories. It's a love story to stories. And I loved it because it's weird and whimsical and crazy, but like not everybody's gonna get on with that. Like it's not like a here's the point and the plot and the doing and the this. It's very all over the place. But I love it. It's so good. So you're either gonna love this one or hate this one. The next is Give a Book for someone who needs to get in their feels. And I'm gonna go with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This book had me bawling. Like, it just had me feeling all the feels, and it's a standalone, so go Addie LaRue. But this had me feeling all the feels. It was just heart-wrenching and heartbreaking and happy at the same time, and I just loved it. And in this we follow Addie, who is this girl who does not want to get married. This is set like way back when. She doesn't want to get married, so she runs away and she's, you know, freaking out. She's praying, let alone like this dark god comes, grants her immortality, but everyone's going to forget her. No one can remember her after they're like out of a room with her. So she goes through this immortal life like this, and finally one day, hundreds of years later, somebody remembers her. And thus kind of starts where I start feeling all the feels. And I loved this book so much. The next one is Give a Book with Immaculate Vibes, and I had to go with another Erin Morgenstern and go with The Night Circus. This book is all vibes. Like, yes, it has a plot, but like this book is all vibes. This is like, you can smell the caramel corn from the circus and taste, you know, the cotton candy, and like you can just, you feel so immersed in the atmosphere of this story. The atmosphere is almost like a character in and of itself, and I just love it. And I think just like this book is vibes, just fits it so well. The next is Give a Book for somebody that likes to be surprised, and we're gonna go with the 5th season because man, the twist at the end of this surprised me, and it is there's a lot of surprises in this book. We're following 3 main characters. We follow an older woman named Isun, and she has 2 children. We follow a like younger, like 20s girl, and then we follow a very, very young, like 7-8-year-old girl. And they're all on separate journeys, but they are all what they call orogenies, and that is like the magic users of this world. They can use like an earth magic. It's kind of earthbendy. But they're not outlawed, but like once they're found, they are like kind of conscripted to work for the government, and like people aren't very nice to them, even though they're the only ones like protecting this world from post-apocalyptic events, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. We hate what we can't control. But it's so good, and the twists in this book will just keep you on edge. The next is Give a Book for someone that needs a little love, and we're gonna go with House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This book's just sweet and wholesome, and it's like an adult fantasy that feels like a middle grade and in all the best ways, and I absolutely love it. It's got this cute little romance in it. It's got these adorable children, and I think I liked it a lot because I, for one, had kids, and I've also worked with children who are in the foster system, and this is very focused around like, you know, kids in like a foster care home basically, and I loved it. It was so good, and it's just cute and sweet, and it's like a hug. Read this book. Give a book that's an old favorite. This one might surprise you, and this was one of my favorite books as a kid, and that is Seawolf by Jack London. Not what you were expecting, I'm sure. A classic, a Jack London book. Look, I loved Jack London growing up. Call of the Wild, White Fang. I actually have a signed copy of his biography, which was written by Irving Stone, which is called Sailor on Horseback, that my dad got me one time. Like, your girl was obsessed. But Seawolf was my favorite. In this book, we are following this man who is in a like boating accident, and his boat crashes. He's picked up by whalers, and he's like, hey, you know, drop me off. And they're like, nah, you're coming with us, because like they didn't want to go like trek all the way back to shore, drop him off, blah, blah, blah. Makes sense, right? And I mean, these are some rough and gruff whaling crews, right? So he's kind of like immersed into this like whaling ship and kind of forced to adapt, because he's like a city boy, right? Like he's like a city guy. He's not used to like getting his hands dirty, and like he's with all these like rough and gruff sailors and going to whaling. So I loved this book. The last one is Give a Book you think everyone should read, and this one might also surprise you, and that is The Women Who Run with Wolves, Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype. This is fantastic. It is not fantasy, or it is more like a nonfiction, which is again outside of my comfort zone, not what I normally read, but it is so good. It's very insightful when it comes to, you know, women in our society and how we're viewed and how we've been viewed, and like the wild woman archetype. And I love it. So many different like passages and sections just really have always resonated with me, like, you know, with not fitting inside this like neat little feminine box that like society has made for you and things like that. And I just think that everyone should read this. Male, female, I don't care what you are. I think this is just a really good book to get like some perspective on different ways of thinking. All right, well, this was the Give a book tag. Again, go check out the original creator. I have it linked down below. If you want to do it, go do it. You'll have to go to her channel to get the questions because I'm not going to list them in my description box. Because I think that like kind of takes away the point of like linking to the original video. Like, get the questions from there and not from one that's like done it. Get the questions from the original creator because that gives their video some oomph, right? Gives them some views. Watch that video and then grab them. So yeah, I would love to see if y'all do this video because I think it's got a lot of really fun questions and good ways to get to know people. My name is Jessie and I will see you next time. Bye.